हेलो नमस्ते सुप्रभात। मेरा नाम है पॉल, आप देख रहे हो कंसोल डांसर। और आज हम बात करने वाले हैं हाउ यू कैन बिकम एन सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर इन 2021। टुडे वी हैव मिस ज्योति प्रियंका विद अस। शी वाज अ सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर on Tech Mahindra. She was a software developer on Extract. She was a senior software developer on Global Logic, and currently, from the past 3 years, she is a tech lead at Infosys. In short, she's an industry leader with 10 plus years of experience in the field of software development. Now, this video is going to be a bit long as this is a podcast, but if you want to jump to any particular question, all the questions with the particular timestamps have been mentioned in the description. Feel free to do so. Now, without wasting a lot of time, let's get started with the video.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure for me. I mean, it's really a pleasure that I can help out people to understand and to grow in the industry with whatever I have learned throughout these years. It's been Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor
Okay.
for me.
Now, it's an honor for us to have you in this show with me. So, ma'am, what was your journey? Like, why and when did you decide to become an SD developer or a software developer?
Um, okay, so basically, it all depends on your passion, understanding what is your passion all about. So, when I was very small, I'm not saying very small in the sense around sixth or seventh or eighth class. That's when then I started taking up my right, nowadays even for your 10th class you have a programming language, at least the
Mhm.
basics and stuff. So we just used to go through a few things, like every summer holidays I used to go take up some more from hall courses, like okay, let us understand what is of MS Office or what is MS, then what is C, C++, and all that. And a little, I mean, they would not obviously go into the deep, but they will always stop at the for loops and the whiles and all that. That's where they used to stop. But then this interaction between the computer and me is what has caused curiosity in me to build more, to understand, learn more, and improve upon it. So that is when I thought, okay, this is my way of going. I mean, this is my passion. This is where
Mhm.
I like to build up my career on, such that I would have a better, I mean, I would be satisfied. Overall, it is what you are satisfied with,
Mhm.
how you are satisfied in your life, to because that makes you more happy and improve more upon yourself. I mean,
Right.
when you're sad or when you don't feel like working, also, what gives you the motivation is your passion and your um, what brings you more zeal and the energy to do. So that's
Mhm.
how I have saved up, and that's how I've got to know, okay, this is my passion and this is how I want to go ahead in my life. So yeah, that's the reason I'm a software engineer right now.
So, well, have you ever thought like if you were not a software developer, if you are not in the field of tech, but you have
Uh-huh.
an so
Mm, I've never given a thought about it. If I would not have been a software engineer, I'd be sales guy or a marketing person. That's what I might
okay.
have been.
So right now, like how is your life looks like? You're like you're a leader right now. You are in Infosys from the past
Mm-hmm.
3 years right now. So how does your day-to-day life looks like?
My day-to-day life, my I would basically it'll be I'll start off around 9 or 9:30. I mean, of course, there's a lot of flexibility in the timings that I would want to, but still at a timeline of 9:30 that I will start off, and might be a lot of meetings with the customers, meetings with my own team, and then we understand. See, I
Mm-hmm.
handle right from the all the phases of the SDLC that you know about. So right from the requirements, still I deploy and move it out and give it to somebody else for support. That I handle everything in the phase. So, so there are a lot of things. Each phase has each different thing. Each project has its own challenges. So accordingly, it goes on. I prioritize my day. Okay, this is what I have to do. These are the to-do lists that I have. These are the priority ones which I'll have
Mm-hmm.
to take up. So then accordingly, I jot down and try to understand, sit, and sometimes you need time to think over how to design and stuff. So that's how my
Mm-hmm.
most of the day goes on. Then if I have meetings, then sometimes the meetings end up for 3 hours continuous meetings where you sometimes get lost in between the meetings, but still, yeah, you'll have to, with the clients, you'll have to face them, you'll have to help
So,
them understand what
hmm,
they
hmm.
need and what we can achieve with respect to that and all that. Yeah.
So I have heard this from a lot of people, but I don't really know. So I guess you are the best person to ask this out. So people usually say that when you are a beginner, like you are
Mhm.
a beginner SD, so you
Mhm.
have to work a lot. But once you are like in a very higher position, then more of management work is there. Is it something like this?
See, it is not every time that way. I would say, yeah, yeah, that you don't code much, but then it doesn't mean that the effort
Hmm,
that you put is less, anywhere less. I mean, it's not like the people who are in the managerial roles don't have
hmm,
much
hmm,
work, or it's just like taking care of the subordinates, just seeing
hmm,
that. But they have a lot of other things, a lot of other aspects of getting the clients, getting projects,
hmm,
estimating for those projects, trying to understand what is right, what is wrong, how do you place where, would it fit into whatever we are doing right now, and all that. That's
right.
what they would obviously do. So it's a I would say I am right now in a mix of both and doing both, but then yeah, so it's not like when you climb up the ladder it's of less work, or it's a kind of
Hmm,
jolly kind of no, it's not. You have your own pressures at the month ends for managerial roles. I mean, you will have
hmm,
to have those things, right? You'll have to complete. I mean, if suppose your subordinates are not completed, then what would have to
hmm.
be? There's a lot of pressures for them as well. It's not like it's all free and all. Yeah.
So what do you enjoy more, like with the management work or like the coding part? Which one is for you?
I like the coding part more, but then yeah,
Okay.
as of now, I'm doing around 50-50 of both of them. So yeah, depends on I like both of it. Yeah.
So, ma'am, you must have heard about competitive programming. So, how much do you feel that this is important to grab out an SD job, or else, let's small in this question: do our coach chef stars or lead code ranking does actually matter us to get out a job out of that?
See, to get a job or to get anything with respect to coding,
Hmm,
basically, all that you need is your basics sorted out, first of all. So when your basics are sorted out, on top of it, you need to know your DSA,
hmm,
data structures algorithm. This is
hmm,
main. This is the core. Now, what fits into where when a problem statement is given to you, that is what is going to help you. So, lead code and the other things,
coach chef.
I
Hmm,
would feel whatever they're going to do is going to give us a practice over
hmm,
what we're going to face tomorrow. So it is like you practice more. So there's an quote that if you learn something for you practice something for more than 10,000 hours is when you get into
hmm, hmm, hmm,
have a good hold on whatever you're doing. So these help us to get on to a better picture. I mean, but the basics are always what you need. For a software
hmm,
engineer, you'll have to think like a tester, you'll have to think of all the options that are possible, like any kind of a negative, positive, every kind of a scenario, such that you would face it, such that we will solve the problem.
hmm, hmm.
So yeah, so these things help us to improve our thought process, I would say. Given a
Right.
problem, you improve your thought process. But I would not say that the competitive programming that we are seeing these days, it's not necessary for us to get
Hmm,
a job, or lead code scores or the ranks are not necessary for us to get the job, but then they would improve our thought process and us to think better in terms of programming and solving a problem which is given. So now, if we are thrown at a problem, all of a
hmm,
sudden we would not
hmm,
be able to think. So this gives us a practice to think better and analyze the way. And so your mind is trained such that you will be able to handle that kind of a problem when it comes. Yeah.
Oh, that's really like a relief for many coders out there because I'll tell you about one of my friends. So
Hmm.
right now we are in my our final year, and probably on July or August we are gonna get out our engineering degrees.
Okay.
Probably maybe with a job or may not be with a job. but people are there. Like I am into data science, so my field
Mhm.
is completely different from SD, but my friends are there. So whenever we have a talk with them and I tell them about लाइक जॉब के लिए भाई अप्लाई क्यों नहीं कर रहा है या फिर ये, तो दे से यार मैंने यार कोच शेफ 1 साल पहले चालू किया होता तो आज मेरा भी जॉब लग जाता, लेकिन मैंने पढ़ा ही नहीं तो इसीलिए मेरा हो नहीं सकता, तो मैं 1 साल ड्रॉप कर दूंगा. सो
Mhm.
दैट इज वेयर द थॉट प्रोसेस हैव बिकम कि अगर आप कंपिटेटिव प्रोग्रामिंग या सीपी नहीं जानते तो आपका जॉब ही नहीं लगेगा. बट आई
Okay.
बिलीव सम थिंग्स आर completely different.
I mean, what kind of a problem fits into what kind of a solution is what you need to understand more of.
So if in 2021, like a beginner,
Mhm.
if you want to guide him up how to become a software developer, what will be your 2 cents on that?
I would obviously say first thing is you pick up your niche. What is that? What is that? Is you feel that if you want to when you want to program, when you want to
Mhm.
code on, what do you want to code on? I mean, is it Python? Is it C, C++, Java, or C sharp? Whatever is the case, what do you want to code on? And go
Mhm.
get it properly. I mean, get the core properly.
Mhm.
It's the core that is more important rather than the all the other things that are added upon. And then get your data structures and algorithms to the core. You need to know it properly, so that way you get to know anything. So it is easy to solve. Tomorrow when you get into a company, you will be facing some kind of an issue, any problem statement, you will be able to solve it because of these baselines, and then you build upon those. This is your basics.
Mhm.
On top
बिल्कुल.
of it, you build the other things, whatever you're
Mhm.
interested in, whatever you want to, and all that
Mhm.
you can build upon it. Yeah.
So, what kind of salary can a beginner to an extreme, like an expert, can look like? You have been an SD, you have been a senior software developer. Right now, you are a leader over the in Infosys. So, what kind of a range can you give them, the viewers? Uh,
It depends on the company that you're looking for. It depends on whether you're looking for these companies like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix,
Product based.
Google, your
Mhm.
product base, the Snag,
Mhm.
that's those companies obviously pay you more. But then to get to that, then you will have lot of things to, lot of your basics have to be very true, correct. And these lead code and your competitive
Mhm.
programming is going to help you to prepare yourself for that. But then the other companies like these the tier three
Mhm.
also they have their own ways, but then yeah, the salaries they vary from each company to company. It depends. So basic this kind of a tier three companies they pay around 4 or 5 lakhs of starting for a fresher, but then as it goes on, but then if you try for these finance companies, then that will be
Mhm.
around 15 to 25 arrangement depends on the person and the capability of the person. That's how they give up. So it depends on what you are and how strong you are that you are able to grab it.
So what happens ना, टायर 3 के जो बच्चे रहते हैं ना,
Hmm.
they get very much like half of the them, to be very fair, half of them are quite unemployed. आपको भी पता होगा कि इंजीनियरिंग करने के बाद बहुत जन सीएससी की भी होगी, मैकेनिकल का. A lot of them people are unemployed. तो होता क्या है कि वो यूट्यूब में वीडियोस देखते हैं और यूट्यूबर्स जो होते हैं वो कहते
Hmm.
हैं कि 40 लाख का पैकेज, 30 लाख का पैकेज लग गया, और वो हमारे में एक डिमोटिवेटिंग चीज आ जाती है कि हमारे यहाँ 4-5 लाख के लग रहे हैं लेकिन उन लोग 40 लाख के पैकेज उठा रहे हैं, तो इट्स क्वाइट
And
डिमोटिवेटिंग फॉर देम.
I know I can completely understand what you're saying. It is, but then yeah, it's just that you don't stop there, right? You keep okay. उनका लग गया मतलब it is not meaning that you cannot do it, right? So you have to try, go through whatever is necessary. Where are you lagging? Go see those companies. उसका job interviews का what are the job roles that they have? What is that they need? तो उसमें concentrate करके what is that you're lagging, where is that you're lagging, and that helps you more and trying to improve upon that, and then try after some time. Don't give up, never give up is what the attitude is. So you keep trying more and then learning more, and then you go ahead and give your interviews. It's not like you have come into a tier 3 matlab you cannot go into these companies. So you can shift. It all depends on how you portray yourself and how you learn your concepts and everything, and how you are able to handle those questions when you get it. So whenever a problem is given to you, how do you handle it? So these help you to
Hmm.
obviously get it. So, but then there is a lot of effort. So getting into
Hmm.
tier three is a little easier than getting into the other one. So it depends.
Hmm.
So one way is when you get into a tier three, you're being paid for whatever you're learning. I would always say
Hmm.
whatever I'm being paid my money, but then what is I would say for whatever I am learning. It's not for
Hmm.
whatever I'm giving. I'm learning once as well as with everyday problem that I face. It depends. Each problem statement, I'm learning something new out of it.
Hmm.
So for these, you take it as a challenge. You take everything as a learning and then go forward and move ahead. You don't stop learning. And in any ways, now also I don't stop. I keep learning. I keep learning new things. I
Hmm.
keep reading. So all that is required is our never give up attitude that helps us to don't never give up and don't get disheartened. Yeah, there are people who are getting it, but that doesn't mean that we cannot get it. But then, even in the tier three, you keep shifting
Hmm.
your companies,
Hmm.
then your
Hmm.
salary grows more. As you
Hmm.
shift your company, your salary grows more. As you show your capability and your whatever you hold, whatever
Hmm.
you have, whatever knowledge that you have, when you keep showing it, when you keep um, showing people that yes, you know these, that is
Hmm.
when. But I would say build up your GitHub profile, build up your
Hmm.
LinkedIn profiles. Then these things will help you when you go for an interview. I mean, these are the kind of
Hmm.
things that will really help you in trying to move towards your goal of whatever you want to wish to go. It's not like you're in a tier three company, you cannot go. Yeah.
Hmm. Like, ma'am, usually I've seen people that who are from basically from tier three. What they do is they will are gonna join out some startup, maybe work there
Mm-hmm.
for 1 to 2 years, and then they will jump out to an MNC. So I guess is that the correct way for a tier three student to move in? Like,
Ah, it's like, see, if you're going to a
hmm.
startup, first thing is what you happens in a startup is you learn more things.
Hmm.
You learn each and everything because startup has less number of people to handle that thing.
Hmm.
So you learn lot of things over there. So people are taking it as an advantage over whatever is happening, but then that's okay. I mean, that's nothing that you cannot help upon. See, I
Hmm.
have my own cousin who has his own startup, so I do know about how
Hmm.
what are the problems they do face with that. People come, people learn, and they go
People
into the
go.
bigger MNCs and with the
Hmm.
higher packages. Yeah, I
Hmm.
do don't I know because I have a background of the same startup company in my own family, so I know that okay, this is literally a little unethical, but then that doesn't change the matter of fact
Hmm.
that the person whoever is interested, if he is interested, then I cannot stop him, right? So it is up to them whether they feel like they it is right or wrong. I am not nobody to judge them, but then
Hmm.
yeah, you learn more through the startups is what I would obviously say. But when you go to an MNC, your learning reduces. Frankly, your learning reduces. It again, it becomes one way vertical kind of where you cannot think, where will be working on only that. You will not have more options to grow. That is the only difference.
Hmm. So, ma'am, what do you prefer, like a startup or an MNC?
I would always prefer a startup because that is where I would learn more.
Hmm.
A lot of things, a lot of new things coming up. That is where you get it and learn more through a startup. But through an MNC, it takes time. It takes your own sweet time. There are MNCs which still work on the legacy items, are still there. But then the startups cannot survive if they are on the legacy
Hmm.
things. So that's the reason they keep growing and learning more new things. That helps us. One way it helps our thing as well as it helps the startup. So it is a win-win situation for both.
Hmm. So, like I was doing an summer internship on Tata Steel. So I
Mm-hmm.
even observed this that the tech stacks that they were using were very old, quite old. They
Mm-hmm.
have just upgraded, like in the past 3 to 4 years back, they have just upgraded
Yeah,
with C
yeah.
Sharp. They are using .NET a lot, but still
Mm-hmm.
that's quite old now. .NET, I
Mm-hmm.
guess it's just moving away. What do you
It's
think?
almost fading, I would say.
So, and then I had just joined Oeriksha as an intern, as a
Mm-hmm.
data science intern, and that's a 2-year-old startup company.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a
Mm-hmm.
mobility company. So the tech stacks that they are using, like that's the latest in the market. They are
Yeah,
using,
yeah,
they are not even using a SQL, they are using Postgres, they are using Kubernetes. So I
yeah.
feel startups are using a lot of new tech stacks than the
Yes,
giants.
yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So ma'am, what do you think, what is the perfect time for anybody to retire?
Ah. I would say as long as you are able to, okay, if I have to retire today, then I should
Hmm.
be able to, as long as I live, there's something, some of my finances that I would be able to survive myself on the way I
Hmm.
like to live upon. So that is the perfect time to retire. So it is not like a specific age specific,
Hmm.
but it depends on each person. So if I say, yeah, 30 is a perfect age for retiring, then people who are, if they take it as a hard and fast rule, then that will become an issue for them. So I would say as long as you feel that your finances are enough for
Hmm.
you to live for the next whatever age that you are going to live and live happy the way you want to, then that is the time for you to retire.
Right. So, ma'am, what are your thoughts on our generation, like the new coders? You have met all the generation, I guess. You have met someone of people who are working with you, people who are very much youngsters. So, how much you have seen that, how much the tech stacks or the generation has changed up with coding?
Yeah, yeah. So I have seen a lot of change. I've seen a lot of the way sometimes we when we have more experience, we don't
Hmm.
think much. We become narrow
Hmm.
to our thinking. But when we see people like you guys who are fresh and new, then you
Hmm.
have a broader perspective. So that is like you have a you can think much better than me because our perspective is very narrow and yours is a broad perspective. You can think more and you can try to, whenever it is like solving some solution or whatever be the case. So it is that with the era of internet out there, you have
Hmm.
everything to see and to learn and to gain more into and all that. So you guys have more upper hand over, as I would say. But then the use of the internet, the way you use
Hmm.
it, that makes you whether you are a dumb or you're a smart person. That is what I would say. So you use it in the right way, then that becomes, gives you the right opportunity. But then I would say a lot of people whomever I am meeting,
Hmm.
they have open ideas and they would like to solve issues in a different way than we have been solving. So that is going to that is a little, I mean, I would say it is good that you guys are able to think further. I mean, because we are stopped, I mean, our uh, perspective is becoming narrow, so yours is like broad. So we learn from you in that perspective, and out of our experience, that whenever we would say something, then that is like you learn through our experiences. So
Hmm.
it's like both ways. Then person who is able to do both the things would succeed more in life is what I
Hmm. Like I was talking to one guy. He is like he has an experience of 5 to 6 years. He has been recruiting
say.
people. He's a HR.
Mm.
So
Mm.
he has been hiring data scientists for the last 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
So I was just asking him about how much the questions have been changed or have been upgraded. So he was just telling me that when he started, he used
Mhm.
to ask questions like very simple, very easy questions in machine learning. But right
Mhm.
now, the demand is much higher, and he is asking something which might be a master student or PhD student might know, but they are asking it to a bachelor student. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
what's your thought on this? Is it something like this?
No, even I
Uh,
do take interviews, but
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. So because I take the core basics,
Hmm.
like I
Hmm.
told you, the
Hmm.
core basics, and say there are times your recursions, your
Hmm.
dynamic programming is where I mostly deal upon, such that I understand where the person is able to, even given a chance, when the person will be able to learn
Hmm.
more when it when you're given a chance. But see, asking on a higher, I am not sure because I have never done it. So I always on the basics, and then yeah, we do ask a little as things go. Okay, you're comfortable with your basics, you know your basics, then we go a little higher, we try to understand. But that doesn't make you like
Hmm.
you are not worthy for that. As when we go higher, you're not worthy for that not doing well or nothing like that. It is just that we try to understand that, okay, where is your stop point? So at that stop point, whether we will be able to learn or not.
So I'm from Jamshedpur. It's a small city in
Mm-hmm.
Jharkhand. Okay. And I moved out from here and I went to Bangalore. My parents sent me over there to study, to have a broader perspective on everything. But I
That.
have seen out my friends over here who are staying over here and doing engineering from Jharkhand, or probably in Jharkhand, but maybe from Jamshedpur itself.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this mindset that they cannot grow much from being a small city. They cannot become an software developers and get a six-figure job. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you believe that too, or you might like to add that out?
Um, so it's the when your mind is like that,
Hmm.
then you become like that. That is
Hmm.
what I believe in. So, so what you feed to the mind, you totally become the same way. But
Right.
then it's that some what I have seen is people who have moved out of their towns or their cities,
Hmm.
far away from your parents. Then you learn more. I mean, you try to whatever you face in your life as a challenge, you learn through it. So you try to face your own challenges, you try to solve your own challenges and stuff. So that helps you in trying to tackle your problems. So your mindset changes. When your mindset changes, then that is when you can tackle each and everything and then win. And
Hmm.
your definition of success changes basically.
Hmm.
So it is like basically when you were saying that your friends in Jamshedpur are having
Hmm.
this issue that they
Hmm.
have to get to their mindset and try to change their mindset that it is not like we are in
Hmm.
Jamshedpur, that is the reason we will
Hmm.
not be there. See, we are in a country where a chai wala
Hmm.
has become the prime minister, so
Yes, anything can happen.
anything can happen. All that is on your mind, and your mind, the way you treat your mind and how you set it up and how you set your goals and your mind. So yeah.
So, ma'am, how much necessary soft skills?
Hmm.
Soft skills, like as you said right now, that you should be grabbing out when you get out from your house. You learn a lot of new skills. So I guess all of these are part of our soft skills itself. So,
It's a part of everything. I mean, all
hmm,
together is what I meant.
hmm,
But then, yeah, soft skills are necessary because there are situations wherein we interact with clients. When we interact with clients of US, UK, or
hmm,
any other different country, then they need to understand us. We need to understand them to
hmm,
understand the problem, basically. So it is that your soft skills and the way you talk, the way you interact with people. So it's not just that the client would come. Yeah, the client would come. The company would bring the client, but then how you handle them and how you keep hold of them is what is more important. So
right.
all these things, your soft skills play an important role for you to have your own thing. And to get into your interviews as well, your
Hmm,
soft skills is more important. Like in because that is what they are going to say. Because when you have to interact with your clients, then obviously your soft skills have to be better. I don't say that people with uh, very bad soft skills are bad or they will not be able to succeed. I mean, they might have had very good thought process, their basics are very clear and everything, but they have lagging in soft skills. Then I would say
hmm,
build upon that, build upon your soft skills, and those are important. Those are equally important to your programming. So you build upon it and keep interacting with people, and that is how you improve on your soft skills. Yeah.
hmm, right. Oh, I mean, you have a very wonderful kid. Like, what's her age?
She's around 4.5.
Oh, for you must have heard about that. There are various edtech companies or the edtech giants or the unicorns who are trying
Mm-hmm.
to teach coding to less than 12 years of old. They have just get
Yes.
out courses of 50, 60,000 rupees, and they are
Mm-hmm.
trying to make children who are 10 years, 12 years old. They are certified coders, game developers. So,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say about that?
I have seen what they I've just gone through whatever they're seeing and doing as well. I would say, I mean, when I've seen whatever their curriculum is all about, they're teaching everything right. All is like a drag and drop based for those kind of children. But then I would see that. See. the in-depth logic behind it, the
Hmm.
children will not be able to find it out.
Exactly. Hmm.
Now, suppose I give you a, like,
Hmm.
for my kid, because she's 4.5, when she was small, I've given her that stacking toy. Now, how
Hmm.
she knows that what to stack upon each other is how she is learning how, when this kind of a stacking problem comes, how you solve it. Or if I'm saying, like, what is that? No, basically, what you have to teach the children is like the logic behind it. I mean, all the,
Hmm.
or in the day to day life, how you use your algorithms is not like the algorithms that I'm teaching in the this thing. See, like, this Dijkstra's algorithm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
Big.
So, basically, how does Google Map work on? It basically works on
Hmm.
finding the shortest path, and what is that is all about Dijkstra. Now,
Hmm.
you don't need to teach the Dijkstra's algorithm, or how you write it, but then making them understand what this concept is, just that, okay, so this is how we are going. This is the reason we are going in this kind of a direction. That would help them that when they come to that level of learning, they will find it easy to learn.
Hmm.
You got my point. Rather
Yes.
than
Yes.
teaching them how to write that, how to write all that, it is better that we teach the concept of how you sort it. Sorting.
Hmm.
Sorting, there are different ways of sorting. You
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
teach it by how you teach it through a small thing. It's not necessary that we would teach the entire insertion sort, yeah, selection sort, everything all together. So that is something that is not necessary. Oh, and most importantly, you give the child a free hand and make
Hmm.
them understand what they want to do, first of all. It is not like we've seen that movie, right, Three Idiots, that as soon as
Hmm.
kid is born, they're saying, yeah, engineer ban jayega. That is
Ha,
not the
ha.
way of parenting, basically. So we will have to teach, let the child understand what they want to. My child is a left-hander, so then I understood, okay, what is she more interested in? Okay, I gave her all that options that she wants to. Okay, then the max that she does is, or most of the time, what she does is drawing. So then,
Hmm.
okay, this is what she's interested in. Now, when she's a left-hander, then they have more towards, they are inclined more towards critical,
Hmm.
creativeness, rather than logical and analytical. So
Hmm.
then that's when, okay, fine, this is what she is more interested into. So tomorrow when she grows up, she will succeed more towards this side of creativity and stuff, not on logical. Now, if I say do logical things like for loop and stuff, then it is like everything is not going to work out in her head. So what is more important is what is the child basically trying to more interested into, and give them those things. Don't try to teach them whatever that you want, or uh, okay, I have not become this, so I want my kid to become. Don't give that rat race
Hmm.
into your child because you were not able to do it, is what I would say. And yeah, these things are all more of money grabbing stuff than rather than
Hmm.
actually teaching. That is what I felt when I looked at their course and curriculum. But if the child is more analytic, you start teaching small things, like how you would give them through a small toy, help them to understand. That is what is more important. It's not like you name those terms and you have to teach them and all that. So basically, it is just that they all this whatever we are learning today is all through the problems that we have been facing since so many years, and we are
Hmm.
finding out a
Right.
solution. So helping them to find out a solution to each different problem helps us tomorrow to get a next solution whenever the next generation faces something new. Yeah. If
Right.
we tell them
Hmm.
no, 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 you have to be like this, then they will also become like us only.
Alright. Hello, ma'am. This is my last question for today,
Sure, sure.
and this is one of the most requested question that has
Uh-huh.
been spammed a lot of times in my story.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like, what are the tips for beginners who haven't even decided their domains? Like, my viewers all are in colleges, first year, second year, or
Mm-hmm.
probably in school. So
Mm-hmm.
they haven't yet decided what domain to move in. They are confused between software developer, data science, network engineering. So how can they decide that?
Mm, I would say basically, what are you more interested on? Whether are you interested in data science, when so you're interested in providing solutions towards
Mhm.
this kind, so don't go with the the data science more jobs are
Hmm.
there, they will have more
Hmm.
jobs. It's not that is what is required. So what is your interest towards it? So whether your brain thinks in that way, first thing is that whether you are able to, like I said, like for a child, when we know what way they think, that is how we are going to go
Hmm.
towards that domain. So in the similar way, what is your thoughts about it? I mean, what is, whether you would be able to solve such kind of a problems or not, whether your brain
Hmm.
is able to think like that. So that is how you uh, so that builds in your passion towards it.
Hmm.
So when you have passion towards something, then it is easy for you to crack those things rather than these names and taglines that yeah you will have to do it, then job mil jayega, then nahi to job nahi milega. Not like that. It is not how that is going to work. So all that is required is whether you are having passion towards whatever you are learning or not. Well, I have passion towards algorithms more. I have passion towards coding. And of course, I had
Hmm.
passion towards data science and
Hmm.
artificial intelligence. Then I had my own issues with respect to
Hmm.
artificial intelligence after that. So, I mean, I had to have a break in between because not on my career, but by
Hmm.
the way that I want to learn. Because
Hmm.
my parents had more like they wanted me to get married and stuff,
Hmm.
and then only then think of your career later on. So then there was a hard stop there, but then that doesn't change the fact that yeah,
Hmm.
when I had the passion towards it. So now even after 3 4 years after that hard stop also, now I'm like okay fine, now I have to take a leap and go forward. I cannot stay back here because I had the passion towards it. At least I had the gap, but then that doesn't change it or that doesn't make to move. So your passion is more important, and when you have the passion towards it, you will work hard to get it, no matter what.
Hmm. Thank you. Like this is a never-ending process. Learning
Yes,
is a never-ending process.
learning is never ending. Learning is never
Hmm.
ending. Even if you're in 60s or 70s, you will be learning. All that thing is what you want to learn and whether you have the passion towards
Hmm. Right.
it. Then
So.
I would say I have clients who is my mom's age. I talk
Oh.
to clients who are my mother's age. So I know when I've asked her what is her age, and then I'm like, that's exactly what my mom says. And I said, the way you think is different from the way my mom thinks. Now, back in
Hmm.
India, people think it's a different way. But then,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
oh, see, there's a difference. So their passion, she's still learning. She's still learning. She's still happy and learning macros, Excel.
Hmm.
That's what she's
Hmm.
more into that. And so, I mean, there's a difference. See, their learning is never ending. So all
Hmm.
that is required is that we should have that attitudes towards life that learning is never ending process.
Right. Right. So, thank you very much, ma'am. It was an honor to have you with
Thank
us,
you, thank
and
you,
I'll mention your LinkedIn ID in the inbox so people
sure,
can
sure.
just
Thank
view
you.
out and ask out more questions to you. So, thank you very much. Your last 2 cents to all the viewers who are looking this. Anything you'd like to say, the beginners?
Always, always never give up. Have a never give up attitude and move towards your passion. Learning is a never stop. They don't stop learning. It's never a hard stop. Never give up on anything. Even if you lose, you fall down.
Hmm.
So failures as a stepping stones of your success. So you keep jumping up again and go on. Try it again. Never stop. That's what I would say to any of the freshers or the new students out there. Never give up. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, ma'am. It
Thank you.
was
Thank you.
a wonderful session with you.
Thank you.